Welcome back to the Deal Vault podcast. If you're a real estate investor looking to scale, secure funding, and learn from real deals, you're in the right place. I'm Greg, and together with Nate and Sarah, we'll sit down each week and break down market trends, funding strategies, real deal stories from our investors. Now, if you're ready to unlock knowledge, relationships, and capital you need, let's open the vault.
Hey, welcome back to the Deal Vault podcast. I'm trying to do a better job of remembering that this is mostly an audio medium, not video.
Yeah.
So always going to try to narrate the things that we're doing anything with her. Yeah, and it's like when we did our, how well do you know your friends?
Yeah.
I was definitely treating it as a video medium where
Yeah.
I was just like turning around my, Post-it note that had my answer. I did. So
You're right. I mean, there is a video, but I don't know
there is. I think most folks
the audio version.
would certainly do the audio.
For now, at least, but in the future when we're
One of big YouTube stars.
big
Definitely.
YouTube.
Cool. Well, I'm Nate, and I've got Sarah here today just to kind of get to know the team. And we did this with Greg, and I think that episode just dropped. And so I think it's nice just to get to know some of the people behind LoanBidz and the people who, got to know, who developed our whole process.
Yeah.
And so, Sarah, what do you do here at LoanBidz, and how'd you get into all this?
Great question. So, first off, just have to call out, it is funny not being just like a package duo, So, because we are definitely two sides of like the adventure to where we are today, I think.
You and Greg.
Me and Greg together and how we kind of interacted with it as a married couple and business partners, and then also real estate investors, and then just individually, like kind of how it started out for us. So, essentially, when we started the company, I was, we've got 3 kids, but my youngest daughter was getting close to a year old. And I had been home with the kids, did some like part-time CrossFit coaching, all that stuff, but hadn't done anything in this lane. I actually went to school to be a speech therapist. So not going to use that, but that's totally fine with me. I have a best friend and it was worth it. But we obviously started getting into real estate investing ourselves. And with that process, like I learned pretty quickly with just managing rentals, like we have to have a rhythm and like a protocol on how we do things, right? How we screen tenants, the systems that we use, the documents that we collect to just make sure that we cover all of our bases. So obviously back then, around the time when the company started, I knew a little bit about managing rentals, not a ton because I hadn't been doing that very often. But I remember sitting down with Damon and Greg and it was like, hey, like, we all think there's something here. Like, mortgages, we know rentals. And I was like, I could help with the paperwork. Like, sure, I'm at home. Like, I don't really know anything about the mortgage process. And, most of our home loans, I think, similar. We talked about you and Hannah, like, she just kind of covered it for you. Like, Greg just kind of covered all of that for me. And I was just kind of taking care of like babies. And so that was 2018. Started just kind of trying to figure it out. I remember I was like terrified to get on the phone like the first couple of weeks. So I was like, what if they ask me something and I'm like, I don't know. And it's kind of like that imposter syndrome is like, I'm going to say something and they're going to be like, you don't know anything. And so it started small, like part-time. Again, I remember like setting up all of like our lender documents in DocuSign. I hired a girl who was a friend to help me with that. And I knew she wasn't going to stay long term. She was like in graduate school, but that was awesome. 3 of us all worked on one single desk at like a co-working space. And she helped me kind of set up some of our initial systems. And then, really from there, like I started learning how to be a loan processor, right? I started learning about title work, appraisals, all of the lending partners, the variations in their processes, the variations in their doc requests. And I think in that, just out of like personal necessity, it was like, I got to find a way so that the customer like doesn't feel all of this. Like I can take this on, but I didn't want it to face them. And so, that was really early on and just over time, kept trying to develop that. And then I hired people that, actually had a lot of experience as loan processors and have just kind of skyrocketed our processes, our systems, our efficiencies. So, I mean, yeah, really, it kind of started out of like, sure, I'll help a little bit. Like, we'll see what I can do. I'm happy to help. And then, here we are today, just with a full team. I think, Greg is really great at kind of the growth and like long-term perspective. I mean, even just like personally, he's the guy who like manages all our investment accounts and retirements. Like he's good at like locking in. I'm more of like live in the moment, like experience based. I love people. And so I think that's like blended in with our like loan process and just like our company too is like my love for people and like wanting them to have a good experience, right? Whether that's a team member or a customer, like has helped me try to hone in on like, okay, this isn't going well for them. Like we got to fix it. Whether it's a team member or, a customer, it's like, all right. And now I just have really smart people that help think of a better way to do things and like just get it done. So it's awesome. But yeah, that's kind of a little bit of the journey. It was a little bit of fall into figuring this out. And I mean, now I love it. Like, I think even like this last week, I was helping someone that was out on a file. And I remember having to like turn my processor brain back on. Again, they work on like 40, 50 files at a time. And I was like, I got this one file. I could do this. I mean, obviously, I've got a lot of other things that I'm juggling at the same time. But I was like, solving problems and like checking things off the list, supporting the customer. And I was like, man, like I still got it. Like if I had to do it again, I could jump back in there. And so it's fun just to be able to support at the file level sometimes. But it is hard sometimes, like with where I sit today is more big picture and less interacting with customers or getting down into the like loan level stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So how often does it like cross your mind that and where you think back to the days where you were kind of learning about
Mhm.
how do loans get through underwriting? Like
Yeah.
what are the critical pieces of information that like help get this thing across the finish line? And knowing that you came from a place where you got to learn it all from the ground up,
Yeah.
and then like how helpful is that for I don't know, developing a borrower experience, and how often are you like leaning back on that?
Yeah. I think that's one thing that in a weird way, I mean, I think we've talked about it before is like we're kind of a bunch of mortgage misfits, but like that kind of makes us a little bit less stuffy and like we get you.
Mhm.
And I think because I wasn't coming in thinking like I really know this thing. I've been doing it for 20 years. Like, yes, I'm gonna just plug right in to this business model and go. Like I had to start from nowhere, and build that up. So I think when interacting with a lot of our customers, like our borrowers, they're real estate investors and they are very great at what they do. But when it comes to interacting with the loan process, entity documents, title, insurance, all of that stuff, like they know it like I did as a landlord. Like it's almost the same. Like I knew the base level stuff to like manage my properties, but I didn't know how it all played out together for the loan approval process. And so I think for me, like my hope is to make it feel more of like we're coming alongside you, right? And even when I think of like us as a mortgage broker versus a direct lender, like I still think a lot of lenders will just push out a list. Here's what we need. Here's what we need. Maybe add a little bit of context, a little bit of clarifying information. But I'm like, okay, team, like we're not going to just be like, here's your list. We're going to be like, here's what we need. Here's how to get it. Oh, and do you want me to just help you do it? Like I could just do it for you and send it over to you for you to review and, sign off on. And so I think that was what I was hoping to embody as we've grown and developed. And I know sometimes it's harder to give that much attention to a file when you got 50 of them, is like that takes a lot of work sometimes, right? Like this one guy I'm helping with, I'm like, oh, this is awesome. Like I can be really extremely helpful, but I only have one file. So it's still, I think, just trying to remember like I'm a human. I know exactly how you're thinking through this list of things. Like, what is that? Why do you need that? Where do I get that? Like,
Yeah.
help me, please.
Well, Greg always talks about, you know, Mr. Lender, man, coming down from his ivory tower, right? He loves that. I think actually what to like distill that even a little bit further, uh, I'd never thought about the fact that the LoanBidz way was developed over in a very unique manner, because it's not that we have zero mortgage experts that started the company.
For sure.
Damon
He is a turbo mortgage expert.
Damon knows everything about the industry and has been in it for close to 40 years.
I think getting like 45, like over 40 now.
Over 40 years of mortgage experience. So the guy who was like, people need this.
Yes.
We can provide this. Let's get after it by providing a very unique,
Right.
experience and product. And then, but he brought alongside a lot of folks, yourself and Greg to start,
Yeah.
who didn't have to like you weren't trying to come from, traditional banking and bring it down to the borrower level. You're like, I'm running alongside everybody here, and over time, I'm going to rise up to become a subject matter expert. But I can always remember, where did I start? And where I started was not from a place of being a subject matter expert. Now let me try to make this, more digestible for
sure.
the common man.
It's so true though, because it is almost like we both kind of had to meet in the middle. It's like we knew nothing. I mean, it sounds bad saying the ivory tower, but I mean, he worked in like C-suite executive, like large institutional, like mortgage corporations. So I remember even starting, Greg and I were like that was where he came from. So his goals were kind of like, I want to get to be huge. And we were like, whoa. We don't know what we're doing. Like, we need to figure that out first before we like, build this massive company. So it is funny. It's like where we are today kind of came from the investors that really knew nothing about mortgage. And then my dad literally wore suits every day, like growing up. And
We also do here. We take our suits off for the podcast, but then we put them right back on.
Like, I just remember as a kid, his closet was just full of suits and he always wore dress clothes. And it was like just that hyper professional mortgage industry, you know, and I didn't interact with it at all other than like, I remember going to Fannie Mae when he worked there for the Take Your Kids to Work Day, which was epic. Like they did all this stuff. And he was like, here's a PowerPoint presentation of what I do, kids. And we're all like, cool. Can we go back to the popcorn stand now? So it's like, I didn't really absorb what he was doing. And, I think it's really cool what we've built. And it really is just kind of like a meeting in the middle. Like we needed all of that. I mean, heavy compliance based, like just prep work that he did to just be like, can I do this? What can I do? Like, the foundation that he had. And then us, again, the misfits down here, just being like, can we like come halfway up the tower? Do you want to actually in the middle of the tower? This is kind of nice down here, right? Like you don't have to wear your suit anymore. And I mean, so it's been fun to just like get to that point where we are today, where I think it is a good blend of, hey, we can talk the talk now. Like I feel very confident in those spaces that I would have never been confident in, at the start. Like I said, I was even just nervous to talk to the borrower on the phone. I thought they would be like, you are an imposter. You do not belong here. And it's been really cool, as we engage with industry professionals, which again, we love all those guys. They're not the scary people that,
I mean, we need people who are experts.
But they are the, like mortgage professionals. And some of them have been in the industry 40 years. And how do I interact with those people, and come and show like value to them, or even just when they start talking to me about stuff, I'm like, how do I meet them where they are and not sound like an idiot, And I think it's been cool to be like, no, yeah, I can sit at a table with all these people and feel like I belong here now and I know what's going on. Maybe I have no idea what they're talking about when they bring up the good old days, but I feel competent enough. And I think for me too, and this is what I've told a couple people that have come to conferences with them is like, they're just people. Like, if they start talking about stuff and you're like, I have no idea what they're saying, just be like, so tell me what you like to do for fun, or tell me about your kids. Like, I think just getting back to that again, like meeting that human level and just like we all have needs and it's really not that scary, has worked for me in the process. But yeah, I mean, it's cool to be like, I've worked on a lot of loans now. Like I've seen a lot of things and it's good that, you know, Greg and I feel like mortgage experts now. Couldn't have said that 8 years ago.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know, it's fun.
Well, I think the humble beginnings of LoanBidz, especially for yourself and Greg, like I think that helps our client experience a lot. What was the experience for yourself when you've done some loans for
Yeah.
yourself, right?
For sure. I mean, again, like, I never interacted with our, like, primary residence home, and I think even, like, our first rental property, Greg kind of managed most of the purchase on that one. But I think, we purchased a few in, like, I think it was, like, early 2020, and we were like, "Hey," we had gone the conventional path with some of our other loans for rental properties, like, let's not do that. Let's go our path. Like, this is a much easier underwrite because we have a portfolio now. We don't want to have to start bringing out docs and tax returns and explain DTI and all that junk.
I mean, besides the fact that you know, it's more convenient to go the route of, using our loan programs, but also
Cheaper, actually,
it,
at the time.
it was a win-win as far as like walking the walk,
Yeah.
using your own loan programs, but
Right.
also it also just made your life easier.
Right. Well, and that was kind of fun too, actually, because my parents, I mean, again, my dad's been in the mortgage industry for a long time, but he had never, I mean, he has a lot of other assets, investment assets, but not real estate, like investment properties. And so we were like, "Hey, like, do you wanna buy some properties together?" And so that was kind of fun because when we did those loans with some of our lenders, like, we made our own LLC and I set all of that up, like, easy breezy. I'm totally used to this and, knew exactly the path that we needed to take to make it a smooth process. Like, it was awesome. Like, it's just like, again, all of those questions that I was thinking about with borrowers, like, how do I get an LLC? What documents do you need? How do I get you those documents? Or, a new bank account, like does it need to be leased or not? Like all of those nuances, like I already knew those. So I was like sending stuff with like, here's my letter of explanation, or here's this, like just it's perfect. It's fine. It's great. Just go, So obviously being an investor with a mortgage experience is awesome as far as that goes. Like we can really hone in on the best products and pricings for ourselves. And the process was easy.
Yeah.
So
So you brought up something, you created your own LLC, no big deal. But I mean, there's a lot of people who that sounds scary, and doing it in Missouri is actually
it's like $50 and you get
it's the easiest thing in the world.
Yeah.
But that's not the case for everybody. So like when I'll kind of end it here with what are the things that over the years we've just started taking on for
Oh.
clients that like the regular lender that you go to
Mhm.
is going to be like, hey, I need you to go do this. And so then they either a borrower has to do it themselves or find a subject matter expert who does it. What are the things that like us as a lending partner we're taking on for folks? Because the things that I can think of off the top are help folks create an LLC, help folks add supplemental trade lines to their credit report.
Yeah.
Right. Like,
Yes. We do that. I would say the LLC thing was probably like the first thing because, like, right off the bat, that was like a lot of people, like, they could go to the Secretary of State and set it up, but then there's all this paperwork that needs to come with it.
you don't get an operating agreement
You-
from
And a lot
the
of
state
like
if you need one.
you need to like what we found was people were like Googling these crappy ones and sending those over, and we're like, oh, this doesn't have everything we need on it, so we're gonna have to amend it and do all this back and forth. And then, or it was, that they had to pay an attorney an astronomical amount of money to do all of it for them. And I was like, there's got to be a better way. So we partnered with business company and then we use legal software to set all of that up that we still use daily to just, if we need to change existing documents that didn't come in with everything they needed or create it for them. We've obtained EINs for them as well and use that service for them. So it's just all of the business stuff is a big lift, I think, in the space that we work in. A couple other things, title insurance partners. So we have clear title insurance partners as options in case, we have a repeat borrower that goes with one and we're like, hey, that was kind of a mess. Like, can you try
And he
this?
doesn't have a favorite best friend that also does title work.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I mean, a lot of people don't have a preferred title company. They're just like,
No.
whoever you want. And so we have a list.
We have the list so we can get it going, and they know us really well. They know the lenders really well that we work with. So we're like confident in them. Like, we wouldn't give you them if we didn't think so. Same thing with insurance. That's a big one because a lot of investors come in and they have these insurance policies that really are not built for rentals or landlord policies. And so they don't meet the lender's requirements. And so sometimes there's just a ton of back and forth to just get an existing insurance policy approved. So we just, hey, you don't have to take this, but here's a quote for you. Like, we know this is going to work.
I've got a
Yep.
very heavy repeat who they've got their preferred insurance provider, but that we use, 90% of the time.
Yeah.
But we always, every time we get a new file for them, we always just place an insurance order
100%.
and have that quote ready because their preferred insurance agent sometimes is too slow. And so we will actually get the file submitted using our quote, and then sometimes they go with it, but it at least allows us to get into underwriting with an initial insurance.
Yeah, for sure. And we're like, hey, you don't have to choose this. There's no obligation, but we know that if we're talking about a smoother, efficient process, it's better to have it than to come to it later. And so we just do that really early in the process, like ask those questions. Yeah, like you said, I mean, really, there's a lot of just technology like we've built over the years of just like, if you need to write a letter of explanation, like we've got a template already set up and we're just going to have you plug it in and then sign it. Like, just the way our tech works to really come alongside with like ease of use, right? If you were going to drop and, pick each of these different lenders, right? You're going to have to fill out an application every single time. Like, our technology will do the filling out for you and then you just sign it. So it's like there's those mechanisms that if the borrower is going out and going to different lenders, they would feel all those nuances a lot more, that just over time, and we're constantly asking the question, what can we do to make it even better, even more efficient, even more clear? Are there other opportunities for things that we could tap into to support investors, like those things that we were just talking about, to make it even smoother for them?
Yeah.
So, I mean, at the end of the day, we can't like do it all for them. They have to do something. Trust me, there's some place on there where like you send them a list and they're like, can you just get me my bank statements and my photo ID? I'm like, man, like, you got to send us something.
They're like, if I give you my bank login, and it's like, I will not do that. I can't.
No. Like, sounds great. Like, we're human, but we also still have to comply with like, that's probably not appropriate.
But I mean, I think it's worth saying that if you're closing in the same LLC and using the same title insurance provider and homeowners insurance provider, then your second deal should be like, send us the most updated bank statement, and either the purchase contract or the lease agreement.
And that's where I think just to like end, like come back to when I really look at the difference and what makes us successful, it's more than just saying what and here's what we need. It's about walking through that process and saying, here's a little bit more of what I need with a description. Here's why I need it. Here's where you can go to find it, right? Here's maybe some instructions, right? How to download your bank statements from your type of account. Like, a lender's not going to necessarily take the time to do that. And then all of those extra things, like, do you want me to just make the LLC for you and then, take care of this for you so that you don't have to spend your time to do it? So I think just going back, that's like the core of the mindset that I want our processing team to have. And yeah, sometimes it's hard when they've got a bigger pipeline to be able to pause and make those adjustments, but that's my hope for the experience for the customer, is that, man, that felt so much easier. Thank you for doing that for me. Oh, wow, this is awesome. Like, you could have just sent me that list, but you sent it and you said why I need it, because that's kind of a weird thing. Where did that come from? And how to get it. And oh yeah, by the way, sure, you can totally just do that for me. Totally fine with that. So I think that's the hope, is just like focusing on that experience, but remembering like, you know, we're humans, they're humans, and we're just trying to meet in the middle, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. And, we started right where they were at.
Yeah, for sure. So I think it's been a fun journey, and I'm excited to see where it continues to grow. Again, I feel, more knowledgeable, especially in this space. It's been cool to give back over the last few years just to the industry and
Yeah, you just got back from InvestorCon.
InvestorCon, but also just like in the industry organizations as the private lending industry is growing, being a part of committees. I just help support creating a intro to private lending like course through one of the big organizations that I helped with the outline, and got recruited some other people to just talk through like the foundations of where private lending came from and what it is today.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, as I'm doing this, I'm like, I had that again, like, should I be the one doing this? Like, how did I get into this place where I'm the one that's helping create this outline? Like, I don't know where it came from, but I'm like, oh, but I know these people. Like, this person's been here. Like, they can work on this part of it. So that's, I think, cool for me. And just continuing to do the same thing for our team members is invest in them, whether they look at us as, whoa, those are the mortgage people that know all the things. It's like, but we were right in your shoes like not that long ago, and like want to get you to where we are. So
Yeah, for sure. Well, you're an imposter no more.
hey, it depends on the environment, but I like to feel that I'm progressing day by day out of whatever that is.
But I think we all remember where we came from, so which is always helpful in client
It is.
interactions.
For sure. So cool.
Cool. Well, thanks for sitting down for a few minutes and just going over stuff. We'll call it there. And until next time, we'll see you on the Deal Vault.
Thanks for listening to the Deal Vault. If you found value in today's episode, be sure to subscribe and share with another investor and leave us a review. If you're looking for help funding your next deal, you can always holler at us at LoanBidz.com. We'd love to help you on that deal. Until next time, keep building, keep investing.